Let me first start with the biggest shocker, in my opinion. And that obviously was the Green Bay Packers beating the Dallas Cowboys 48-32. I talked about this briefly last episode, but I myself need to put some respect on the Green Bay Packers name. I think what I was suffering from is what you see a lot of people suffer from, and that is they're so slow to get off their takes because they just want their takes to be right. And there could be a little bit of evidence to warrant your take being right, but there could be more evidence or new evidence that steers you elsewhere. And what do I mean by that? Going into this season, I thought that the Green Bay Packers were going to struggle mightily. Obviously, it's the Green Bay Packers are used to having a very seamless regime change from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. And that usually doesn't happen. You look at what's going on with the New England Patriots from, Tom Brady to whatever they have now. Those are usually how movements and regime changes like that go. It's never really as seamless as Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. And going from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love, I thought that they were going to struggle. And especially when you look at and listen to the reports that were coming out of training camp. There's always a cause for concern, in my opinion, when you have two drastically different reports coming out of camp. When you have some people saying that Jordan Love, there's not going to be a drop-off at all between how the team looked with Jordan Love and how they looked with Aaron Rodgers and how they look with Jordan Love. I heard reports saying that Jordan Love has the offense running better than Aaron Rodgers did. Now, obviously, Aaron Rodgers did struggle the last year of his Green Bay tenure. Some fault of his own, some fault not. But they were saying that Jordan Love is going to come in and it's going to look great. And then you were hearing reports saying Jordan Love is struggling. He has accuracy issues. And he has sense of feel for the field. That's off. So going into the season, there were a lot of conflicting reports about how this Green Bay Packers offense was going to run. Now, going into this season, you did think that the one calling card that the Green Bay Packers were going to be able to lean on was their defense. They struggled last year, obviously defensively, but you thought with the names that they have that it was going to be a turnaround this year. And early into the season, it looked exactly how I thought. Green Bay struggled offensively. Jordan Love, he would get a lot of empty calorie yards. He did have accuracy issues. The offense just didn't, it looked good, but he also had high turnover rates. It was just bad. And I thought, okay, what I thought was correct. Jordan Love is struggling. It's going to be a long season for the Green Bay Packers. But what I failed to do is I failed to incorporate the new data. I failed to incorporate the new information that we were getting about this Green Bay Packers team. To the point where I look up and I'm like, wait, are the Green Bay Packers really about to be in the playoffs? Like, in the playoffs? Over the last, I think 7 games or something like that. Jordan Love has 27 touchdowns to 1 interception. The job that Jordan Love and head coach Matt LaFleur is doing with this Green Bay Packers offense is special, especially when you look like especially when you take into account how it looked in the beginning of the season. But let's bring it to current tense. Going, everything about this game spelt Dallas Cowboys. Easy win. I think that's why it was so shocking. Because everything spelt Dallas Cowboys easy win. Dallas was undefeated at home. Dallas had one of, if not the best offense in football. Dak Prescott had an MVP type year. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb kind of emerged as one of, if not the best 1-2 combo in the league this year. The defense led by Michael Parsons and Dexter Lawrence, or DeMarcus Lawrence, I apologize, was humming and had one of the best defenses in football. Deron Bland had, I think, the most pick sixes in the NFL this year. And Dallas took care of business at home. Now, there were some issues, like they did struggle with teams above 500, but all in all, when they're in Jerry World this year, they're undefeated. And on top of that, going into it, you kind of felt it had to be a shootout because of how good the Green Bay Packers offense was going into the playoffs and just how good this Cowboys offense was majority of the year. I thought it was going to be a shootout, but ultimately, because the Green Bay Packers defense struggled mightily all year, I thought it was going to be a shootout. But ultimately, because the Green Bay Packers defense struggled all year, I thought it was going to be, I'm not going to say an easy win for the Dallas Cowboys, but I thought that they had the best path to at least making it to the NFC Championship. And one storyline going into this game was, can this be the year? I'm not one to believe in curses. I don't believe in curses. But obviously in sports, there is a tradition of curses. There's a tradition of this team is cursed because of this. This team is cursed because of that. And while I am not one to believe in curses, I do believe that your record is your record. And whatever we're talking about, your record is your record. And the Dallas Cowboys have struggled mightily when they get to the playoffs. And a lot of people attributed that to Jimmy Johnson not being in the Ring of Honor. And they thought that once he gets into the Ring of Honor, then the quote-unquote curse is lifted. Well, he made it into the Ring of Honor this year. So I thought, hey, if this whole curse thing is true or not, this is the year. On top of that, again, everything I said, the defense playing well, the offense humming on all cylinders. I thought that this was the best opportunity, not just to make it to the NFC Championship, but to make it to the Super Bowl. But as we sit here today, the Dallas Cowboys, damn, it's crazy to think about now that I'm saying it. The Dallas Cowboys suffered their first loss at home this season in embarrassing fashion, 48-32. And why is it embarrassing fashion? Put aside everything that I just said. Put aside the home record. Put aside how good the offense has been, how good the defense has been. Put aside the big names that Dallas had. I think what is most embarrassing about this is not only are you going against the youngest team in football or the youngest offense in football. Once Dallas got punched in the mouth, I think it was 7-0. It felt like they quit. I'm not going to say quit. That's a harsh word. It's felt like they were out of it. at 7-0. Aaron Jones pretty much ran down the entire field and scored the touchdown, and it felt like Dallas was hit in the mouth and never really got up. And it seemed like the offense that the Green Bay Packers was running, the masterful offense at that, was punched the Dallas Cowboys in the face, and they could never recover. On top of that, just did have the 2 picks that Dak Prescott threw, one being a pick 6. And what's worse about this loss, and what's more embarrassing about this loss, and I started this episode saying that each game had a similar theme. They had different themes, but the overarching theme of each game was kind of similar from all the wild card weekend. Each team had something to prove. And for the Dallas Cowboys, they had to prove that this isn't the same old Dallas Cowboys of recent memory. Of course, we know about the Troy Aikman, Dallas Cowboys, the Michael Irvings. Yes. But of recent note, the Dallas Cowboys were trying to prove that this is not the same old Cowboys. The Cowboys that are really good in the regular season, and then once they get to the playoffs, they underachieve massively. Or the Mike McCarthy that his reputation, even though he does have a Super Bowl win, his reputation is he struggles in the playoffs, especially when we talk about clock management and especially when we talk about preparation. Because a lot of times it seems like Mike McCarthy teams that make it to the playoffs are not prepared or not ready to play. And when I talk about embarrassing, the worst part about this loss is every concern. Everybody that was like, just wait, like the Stephen A. Smiths or the Shannon Sharps. Everyone that was saying, just wait, was right. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.